This will be my first episode in a new series called Saikou, which will talk about my experiences, feelings, and challenges as a player of the game Dance Dance Revolution, currently on the Ace cabinet. Now, the first song I want to talk about is Super Samurai. It's an expert level difficult 15 that is done by June and NCX. What a great song. I can't say too much about how great this song is. So we'll go first into how I came to experience it. As a kid, I listened to Adult Swim, stayed up late, and I would watch Cartoon Network. So things like Samurai Champloo, Samurai Deeper, Samurai Jack are in my mind. Rurouni Kenshin, not a samurai but a batosai, but the same idea. This sense of honor, but also danger, the strength to make things happen, but also, in the case of Afro Samurai, some recklessness or some short sightedness, and just the aggressive mentality, the strength backed either by the will to harness or the will to use in defense of others. Just a fantastic idea. Something very alluring about it. I think it was very popular, not just for me, but for other people at that time. So about 6 to 12 months ago, I'm playing through 14s and I'm thinking, okay, well, 15s, let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go on the journey. We have to keep going. And so I'm trying to figure out what songs I like listening to. At the time, I didn't like 15s. Now I love the folder. I think there's so many great songs I enjoy playing. But at the time, I thought, I'm kind of intimidated. 15 is a number that's bigger than 14. I don't know what I'm getting into. I'm scrolling through and I see a song called Super Samurai. It's not in Japanese. It's just called Super Samurai. And I thought, oh, okay. I mean, it's called Samurai, and Super Samurai gives me the idea of like a Super Saiyan samurai. So that's alluring. Let's listen to it. And as I see the song and I listen to it, you just hear this like aggressive, almost violent beat with someone singing at the same time that sounds also just aggressive. And you can hear, because I'd been playing long enough at that time, that you can kind of hear in the song what notes you would be expected to hit. And it just sounded like very jump heavy and just like I would be thrashing my legs. And so for some reason I thought, this is great. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's see if we can't do the Super Samurai. Super Samurai is lyrically wonderful. It takes you as the player through its own narrative arc, which is excellent. So my experience not knowing the lyrics of the song was as follows. Okay, you get to the beginning. There's a slow, easy beginning with a step that pauses. And it pauses twice, and you're not sure how much more crazy pausing there's going to be in the song. So I felt a bit uneasy because I don't really like that. It requires more effort, more timing, more practice, more just looking up videos, which I wasn't that into the game at that point, so I didn't want to do that. Then, still didn't know the lyrics. After the pause, it goes through some easy sections or comparatively easy sections, punctuated here and there by moments of difficulty. You get to the middle section after a bit pretty difficult step jumps, comparatively difficult step jumps. It goes to a rest. You continue for about 50 to 100 notes, not too much going on. Just things that at a 15 level are pretty easy. No crazy crossovers, just step, 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 step. Not too bad. And then at the end, oh my gosh, just it doesn't front load the difficulty, it backloads the difficulty. And so the back end of the difficulty just, oh my gosh, the first time I experienced it, the first couple of times, I just couldn't believe it. Just crazy on the up and right, and then crazy on the up and left, and then side to side and up and down. And oh my gosh, my feet can't move that fast, even if they could. And I feel like I can get them to move that fast. I can't get them to step on the arrows in the order. The arrows are moving so quickly that I'm clearly going to have to memorize this. Oh my gosh. But it is so much fun. There's something aggressively fun about it. And then at the end, you just hear something that's like the DDR equivalent of the Final Fantasy victory fanfare. Dun, 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 dun. And I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I can play the song, and I could pass it because nothing would kill me up until the end. And then I would just have to not do too badly at the end, and I could survive. And then I looked into the lyrics of the song. Oh my gosh. What an excellent song. When you're playing Super Samurai, the person at the beginning, before the two pauses, is talking about how he's a wannabe. He's going to NYC. First off, that's an interesting concept. He's a samurai going to NYC. So it starts, I'm starting to become more invested. I want to learn more about the lyrics, that because some words you can hear even against your will just by playing the song a couple of times. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And then he pauses, and then when the song kicks up again, that moment of unease I had the first couple of times I played it, it's actually the opposite for the speaker. The narrator, the samurai who's going to NYC, starts talking about what he's going to do when he gets there, how people will be afraid of him, how he'll draw his sword, and he'll go into these aggressive fights. All the things that like Adult Swim samurai, Cartoon Network samurai, or swordsmen, their mentality gets mirrored, but with a more aggressive bend, like a more Afro samurai bend. It's just fantastic. And then as he's talking about all these things, there's the moments of difficulty, and then it calms down again, and he just does normal hits. And then it ramps up again as he's talking about how he's going to seek out his enemies. Like, you've paid the price, you won't survive, let my sword slice and dice. And as he's talking about all this aggression, the song gets more aggressive. It becomes more taxing to the player, and you start having to move far more quickly. And then there's a section where he talks, after a bit more of calmness, where he talks about how he's going to rise from the shadows for heavy battles. And remember, I didn't know what to do with that middle section. It was pretty difficult. I wasn't sure I could pass it, but the speaker, it knows that he's going to be going into these heavy battles. If you listen to the lyrics, he's talking about how he's going to rise up the shadows for heavy battles, for difficult challenges. And there's another tinge there with DDR, because expert, it can also be called heavy based on the difficulty. So rise up the shadows for heavy battles, like you're doing battle against the song, much the same way that this guy is doing battle against his enemies that he will find once he goes to NYC, maybe that he's going against on his path to NYC. And then at the end, you've gotten through a long section of just meter building, and you get the sense narratively the guy has calmed down. Yeah, he said he is going to be aggressive and go and do all these things, and that's fantastic and whatever. And he has some idea. He's gotten a tinge of the difficulty that arises on his path. But then at the end, he's going full ham, and you're going to have to go full ham too. All those drills that he's doing, that you're doing, mirror that he is going there, and he's going from someone who's using the words, I'm a samurai going to NYC. He goes from being a person who's kind of saying that because he doesn't really believe he's all of that. He's kind of raising himself up, to now there's a swagger, there's a gusto to it, as he's a samurai who's going to NYC. To everybody better clear out, everyone better be ready. He's going to go there. He's going to take on the challenges and keep moving forward. And you have to do the same thing too, because the light at the end of the song, when it goes dun 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 dun, dun, that light, for so long, it mocked me. It's like, oh, yeah, he has a victory. The song has a victory. But I feel like, what did I even do? I just botched the last half of this song. Narratively, I botched going to NYC, if you follow what the lyrics are saying. But then once you finally get it, you get those 3, 4, 5 drills, and you just combo them. I'm not going to say I can do too much more than that. But once you do that, then when you step on that up, down, down, rather, and you hold the notes, and you can just feel, oh, I got there. I'm finished. I did this. I took the journey. I finished this song. I crushed it. I killed it. Look at me. I'm on my path. And much the same way, now the singer, he's stuck going to NYC for the duration of one song. But every time that I hear that, I think of it as a metaphor for, oh, I'm going to get better at DDR. I'm going to start saying I want to get better at DDR, and then I'm going to go through heavy battles. I'm going to have to do songs 10 times in a row that I don't like. I'm going to have to learn all of the stops for these songs that are just kicking my ass. I'm going to have to go find London Evolved and play all 4 of its versions, even though I'm not too excited about doing that. I'm going to have to do all those things, but if I do that, it goes from the ending being kind of remorseful, like, oh yeah, Someone else has victory, but I don't. So maybe I can achieve that victory. That's what Super Samurai means to me.